All right, guys, we should be live. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Wisman. This is over here, Daisy. This is Daisy Wisman, and over here, if you can see him, this is Lenny Wisman. Hi, guys. Today we're going to be reading Absolute Superman Volume One, Last Dust of Krypton. So the reason we're reading this today, to be honest with you, tell you the truth, I was just starting to get into Absolute Batman, and I saw that the volume ones, like the trades, the hardcover and paperbacks, just came out for Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Wonder Woman. I think Absolute Batman Volume 1 is The Zoo, Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 1 is The Last Amazon, maybe, and then this one is Last Dust of Krypton. So I went to my local Barnes and Noble at the mall, and they were supposed to have two copies of each. They were supposed to have a hardcover and a paperback. And long story long, after looking, they came with me. They looked, and the lady looked. All we could find was this. And I said, "Hey, what do you think happened?" And she said, "Someone probably stole them all." I was like, "What?" That's her first answer. Like, yeah. I mean, after I thought about it, it made sense. But excuse me, waking up this morning with a Mountain Dew. But how terrible to live in a world where that's like the common thing. That, yeah, people just stole all of the new copies. Like, what? Because if you're reading some of these issues, like Absolute Batman would not be cool with that. So, anyways, we got this one. Oh, sorry, baby. And then we were trying to figure out where can we find more Absolute comics. Digitally, obviously, I do have a tablet that I read digital comics on. Um, but I'm trying to support, because this is like a new thing. This is a current thing. These are ongoing series, and I think they're up to issue like 13 ish by now as a recording. And oh, we got a comment. Man Meat Cower 4567. Hi, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning from California. Happy Friday. So, these are new. This is an ongoing series, and they're their own thing from DC. So this isn't traditional Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. These are new characters in their own universes with new stuff going on. Deebrup Dawes. Hey man, what's going on? Talking comics this morning. So this is kind of like, if any of you are familiar with the Ultimate comics from the early 2000s, not the current new one. Ooh, that guy's in a hurry today. So not the current new comic, Ultimate Comics, but the ones from the early 2000s. Like Ultimate Spider-Man was very popular. I love it. This is kind of like that, is where they're doing new, fresh, modern takes on their like most iconic characters in their own universes, letting them get set up, and then they're just now, I think, doing an event where they're bringing them all together. I haven't gotten that far yet. So I want to support it because it's new, it's ongoing. I love comic books, and honestly, I've been out of the loop for a while. Um, Without going into too much detail, I struggle with like health issues, and I do my best, but as you do with those types of things, you have your good days and your bad days. So I've been out of the loop, and I've been reading a lot of digital stuff a lot, but I want to like get back in the loop of like being part of life. I don't want to just spectate and view life. I want to live life too with everybody. So here I am trying to do that. So in an effort to do that, we looked around yesterday. Where could we find Absolute Comics in our area? We used to have a couple comic shops, but they've come and gone over the years. So what ended up happening was we went to Comic Cult HD, which is a comic book shop in Hesperia, California. It was a little bit of a drive for us, but we made it over there. And the guy was super nice. I think he was the owner. We just told him what was going on and asked if he had any Absolute comics. So he showed us the main ones, and we just bought whatever he had. So it was random issues, like issue 2, 11, and 13, I think, of Superman, and issue like 10 and 11 of Batman, and some random issue of Wonder Woman. So those were just like the stuff we could find. So we got all those. But to start reading, I wanted to at least just get something solid, like, starting all of us together, issue one, yada yada. And I'm not gonna like read this to you like story time per se, but if you guys have one at home and you want to read along, that would be perfect. Or if not, if you just want to hang out with us while we read and chat, we're gonna talk about it, talk about what we think about it, what we like, and just hang out for a little bit today. And as always, you guys are welcome to join us. So I have read a little bit of Absolute Batman so far, or the first issue of Absolute Wonder Woman and the first issue of Absolute Superman, and that's it. So we're still kind of starting fresh. As you can see, I didn't even open it. So here we go. Let's get this cracked open. Don't judge me too much. I'm just human, not Kryptonian, so sometimes I use my teeth. What do you think, Lenny? Let me see if we can take this one off right now, Bubba. Where is it? This is Lenny. He's my own little crypto. He's my buddy. He goes everywhere with me. Right. Absolute Superman. Volume 1, Last Dust of Krypton by Jason Aaron, Rafael Sandoval, and Ulises Arreola. I'm trying my best with the names. I'm a reader, and so I forgot how the quote goes, but something like, if you hear someone use like a big word or uncommon word and they mispronounce it, give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they read it somewhere and they didn't like hear it. My wife actually has a funny example. She had read the word onomatopoeia for years, but had never heard it or said it out loud until one day her and I were talking about something, and she tried to say, I forgot how she said it. She said it, different. And I kind of chuckled and I was like, what are you trying to say? And she described the word and I was like, oh, you mean onomatopoeia? And the reason that I knew that word was from a comic book character that I think Kevin Smith created. So we had a good laugh about that. But, sometimes if you're learning words from reading, you're not always going to know how it's pronounced or how it sounds necessarily. And that's okay. That's part of learning. So anyways, if you don't know anything about Absolute Superman, perfect. Neither do they. I know the bare minimum. We're all starting here fresh. Welcome to 2025. The world's falling apart around us, but like always, we have comic books to get us through it. So, I have a friend, Justin Kemling. I used to see him. I haven't seen him in years, but I used to see him at comic book events, like at stores and cons and stuff. And he used to do reviews a lot of books and Doctor Who. And he always started his reviews by kind of reading the little blurb on the back. So I thought it'd be fun to try that right now. So, without the fortress, without the family, without a home, he's still the absolute man of steel. Check it out. Boom. Mark Klein. I guess the world I live in is different. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I should clarify. I'm in 2025 America right now. John C7360. Yeah, we in America. Yeah, see, John gets it. Well, right now we're gonna head into whatever version of the world this is. So he's the absolute man of steel. Spiraling out of the catastrophic events of absolute power, a new side of the DC universe is born, the Absolute Universe. Okay, so that must have been like the comic event that kicked this off. Because, Mark Klein, yeah, I'm in America. No. Happy to have you, Mark. So that must have been the comic event that like kicked this off. They do that pretty often, where big like American comic book industries, since we're on the subject, will do like events that kind of then branch out into either new ideas or sometimes things that just tie into that event. So I didn't read Absolute Power, but I'm assuming that's what that is. In a different, darker world, Kal-El landed in a remote Kansas field, the last survivor of an alien planet. But even before that moment, nothing unfolded as you'd expect. Huh? As he tries to survive in a world seemingly determined to repeat the mistakes of the demolished Krypton, he'll come into conflict with the globe-straddling Lazarus Corporation and its agenda of exploitation, and go fist to fist with its brutal army of peacemakers. Okay. I've seen Suicide Squad, the 2 live action movies, and then I saw Peacemaker season 1. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but it seems like, especially based on some of the covers, that the peacemakers in this story maybe are like a unit, not so much the one guy, like in the live action John Cena. So that'll be interesting. Best-selling writer Jason Aaron, Star Wars, Thor, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is joined by superstar artist Rafael Sandoval, The Flash, Action Comics, I know, can you believe it? To reinvent Superman from the ground up. Collects Absolute Superman number 1 through 6. Okay. I'm familiar with Jason Aaron a little bit with his Thor stuff. I liked a lot of that. A lot of that. Everyone else here, I think I'm pretty new to. So that's going to be awesome. I like the art, like, because at a glance, it just looks like Superman. Oh, hold on, let me check the comments. John C. Michael, do you still photograph figures? Stayed subbed for a long time. You're incredibly talented and multiple. Oh, thank you so much, John. Yes. I mean, well, okay. Yes, but actually, no. So practically, I haven't for a little bit. If you look at my Instagram, it should have my latest like pictures I've done. I did a couple Star Wars ones. So that's something I always want to do more of, and I'm going to do more of. But the biggest thing holding me back is myself. I have made a giant mess of my areas of the house. So, it's a cool motorcycle. It's like black and green, and the guy's wearing all black. Uh, Basically, I just need to clean all my crap up, and then I can get back to doing that. So, colloquially, see, that's what I was saying about words. I refer to that art form as ACBA, articulated comic book art, but now I think most people just say toy photography. But absolutely, I definitely want to get into that. And there are no figures for the Absolute stuff yet, but if they start making them, ooh, Mafex Absolute Batman, please, please, that would be crazy. Jason Aaron killed it on Southern Bastards. Okay, I haven't heard of that or read that, but I love it. And thank you for sharing. I'll add it to the list. Southern Bastards. Let me remember that for me. Is that like, do you know what, was that with like a big company like IDW, Image, anything like that? All right, so like I was saying with the art, if you look closely, I don't want to spoil anything, but at a glance, it just looks, Superman. You get the the kind of like the Man of Steel style look where it's got the hip kind of pieces here and then a lot of detail in it, and with the cape, right? So at a glance, oh, Superman. And I think that's what they're going for. But if you look closer, you can see right here the gauntlets maybe aren't exactly gauntlets because it's kind of like energy that's like flowing. And same thing with these bits here, the little hip pieces. And then the other gauntlet. And then if you look at the cape, look closely at the edge of the cape. See how it's kind of like, yeah, right there. How it's like, I don't know what to, I guess splattered or spatter. But it'll make sense in a second when we read it. So all of that has an explanation. And it's really interesting. It's different than regular Superman. Hi, baby. Southern Bastards is a sequel to Scalped from Image Comics. Oh, okay. Sick. All right, Image, Scalped, and Southern Bastards, Jason Aaron. Thanks, John. I appreciate the recommendation. That sounds awesome. There's a ton of Image stuff I love, so I trust that that's going to be awesome. Oh, nice. We got, on this, I got the hardcover for this because it was the only one they had. I was just going to get the paperbacks, but we get this nice little artwork of, I'm assuming that's Kal-El, Jor-El, Krypto, Oh no, what's mom's name? Do you guys remember mom's name before I actually have to read it? Lara? Laurel? Laura L? Oh no. Okay, let's see. All in Absolute Superman Volume 1. Oh, that looks dope. We got Superman crash landing with kind of like a explosion effect right here. Like a like a sound barrier or air barrier kind of pop, and he smashes into the ground. That's dope. Ooh. Loving all this. Alright. Becca Carey, letterer. Superman created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster by special arrangement with the Jerry Siegel family. I love that. You know, always need more of that with the representation and creators. Like, I know that it was a long, hard fight to basically get just that kind of tagline on Superman related media. So, more of that going forward, you know. Sorry, Leonard. Should I lean back so I'm not so... There we go. Years ago, 9 million light years from Earth, the planet Krypton was ruled by its cities. Okay, so years ago, 9 million light years from Earth. Obviously, comic book logic, this is because if they're 9 million light years from us, but this happened years ago, like, you know, relativity makes that a little wonky donkey. I don't know if this is true. I assume it's true because I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson and some other guy talking about it. But a weird thing about relativity is like if it's a clear starry night and someone's laying on the ground and you run past them and you're both looking at the stars, the second you run past them, like as you're looking in the same spot at the same time, because one person's moving and one person is not moving, you will see different stuff. Like it'll be slightly different because of relativity. So I'm glad we have Kryptonian technology to like have to not worry about any of that for real. Kandor. Okay, so we got the city of Kandor again. That's still here. Lava powered stuff. Okay. So geothermal like activities already like a normal part of their culture. Like I know in the 90s Superman animated series, Krypton, like before it fully exploded, Jor-El was trying to warn everybody that like all these volcanic and seismic activities were indicative of like the planet blowing up. And in that series, Brainiac is like an AI, and he was actively suppressing Jor-El and that information so that people didn't know that, and the planet would. But I wonder what's going on here because we already have this set up for like lava powered stuff, technology based society, a class system. Okay, yeah, so like the ruling class of this Krypton are scientists, but you know, I'm sure that that's gonna come with some sacrifice to emotions like empathy, sympathy, etc., etc. Because it's already saying they're harnessing as much power, like from not only Krypton but the Red Sun, so that's the same too, to just in the exploit of progress. Like that's their main thing on Krypton, I guess. If anybody's swinging through, we're reading Absolute Superman #1. Feel free to join. Hmm. So it looks like the elves are on a farm. Interesting. Okay, her name is Laura L. One of my 10 guesses was right. So Superman's mom's name is Laura L. So even though Krypton's so like super advanced, there's still it's so like classist that there's like relatable struggles going on here. Um, the scientists control the weather of the planet, but people are still paying bills to access that technology. Like they have a rain bill if you're a farmer, so that the scientists will literally seed rain like on your crops, and if not, I guess it just doesn't rain there. So that's awful. Especially when you're reading Superman. My hope would be that like an ideal world, if you could control the weather, like it'd be perfect weather for everybody all the time, and like whatever any weather thing needed. But this just shows that how it shows how human, I guess, other things can be too. So Lara is some sort of mechanic, and she makes a living fixing things. Okay, so I think her maiden name was Lara Lorvan here. She was an exemplary student. Ooh, until she wrote an essay criticizing Krypton's lack of funding for interstellar exploration. Okay. For this, she was labeled unruly and forbidden from ever applying to the Science Academy. Dang. So, progress is just whatever the ruling class defines as progress. Because if anyone disagrees and wants to progress somewhere else, too bad. She was 9 years old. Wow. Imagine being told at 9, like, hey, you're never gonna make it just because you had an opinion. That's crazy. This Krypton sucks. She wanted to be an astronaut. Oh, poor baby. Oh no, on the bottommost rung of that ladder, like the social ladder, toiled the labor guild. Dude, you want to see what the labor guild wears? You're gonna recognize this right away. That's the laborers. That's all like the manual labor people on Krypton. Crazy work. Wow, class distinctions were of such importance the citizens were required to wear their status at all times. Yo, where have we heard of that in real life before? That's not good. The crest of the laborer was seen as a mark of shame? What? The sign of the poor and unskilled. This is this is just blow after blow. People like my parents wore it with pride. Oh, thank God. Here we go. The turnaround. We were the children of the sun, they said, those who made their way with their own two hands. We were the people of steel. Ooh, man of steel set up. Okay, okay. People like my parents wore it with pride. I wonder if there's a bigger message here, like, despite the circumstance you find in, or despite the labels people put on us, you can still choose. You always have a choice on how you carry that and how you feel about it. That's cool. Little insight on that. I'm wearing orange a lot lately because I have orange shoes. Can't see right now, but I have Hoka shoes. If any old men like me are watching and you need Hoka shoes yet, they're just like uh, I guess semi-athletic shoes, but they're really good for your ankles and support and stuff. So I have an issue with one of my ankles, and I have to wear Hoka shoes now just to like walk around. And basically, they're very expensive, but I found a pair for less than half off, and they were bright orange. So it was cheaper to buy that pair of shoes and then start wearing orange clothing to match the shoes than to just get the black pair and wear, black and gray and white shirts. So, interestingly, I've had to be a lot more colorful in life a lot lately, but it was just a frugal decision, to be honest with you. Okay, so we got some steel class citizens busting a mission. I'm not quite sure if they're in the sun exactly, like the red sun, or if they're still on the planet. But regardless, it's like a mine. So Jor-El is leading a team into a mine right now to see if it's like safe, more or less. So Jor-El's an engineer. He's an engineer, but he's still like the lowest class of citizen. That's crazy. I say that because engineers are like traditionally like really smart people. Sunstone. Crazy. Jor-El's job. People are sending Jor-El in here to see if this mine is safe, and he tells them, "I don't think it's safe." And so, what does his boss do? He basically tells them, "You know what my opinion is? Look at my chess symbol because they have to wear their class symbols all the time." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you know what I think of that, Jor-El? This, buddy." And this says, "Get back to work. I don't give a shit." That's great. Why even ask him then? Why even hire him, have that position? If that at Atalanto, Mikey's so goaded. Oh, thank you. Smash Labs. Hey, what's up, Chris? Smash Labs Creations, very talented guy. Check his art out. He does ACBA, but he does a lot of other stuff too, like 3D modeling, printing, customizing, and he like hand builds. Like, I don't want to give away too much of his stuff, but he hand builds like, how do I say it? Like props and sets and dioramas and stuff. Like primo stuff, good stuff. Anyway, so this guy's a jerk. I mean, if Krypton goes, I hope this guy does not make it. And how did he qualify? Because okay, so if Laura L was 9 and she wrote like an opinion piece about star travel, and they're like, no. Well, how did this guy qualify? What did he? What do you have to do to be smarter than those people, but actually, be dumber? Like, that's crazy. Okay. Oh yeah, Jor-El shutting it down. Like, nah, nah, nah. You won't. This shaft is closed until further inspection. You must be about the dumbest laborer ever crawled his way out of the red waste. You'll be digging ditches in Mundra Tundra by the time I'm through with you. Oh, well, this could also. I mean, look, the guy's being a dumb jerk no matter what. But this could also explain a little bit. My father, Jor-El, was set to graduate the Science Academy with impeccable marks. Okay, so his mom and dad were like super smart, but At his graduation ceremony, he gave a speech condemning what he saw as the Science League's environmental recklessness. There it is. So his mom wanted to travel the stars, and his dad wanted to protect the planet. And the ruling class was like, no. Typical. Their pillaging of Krypton's natural resources was endangering the planet, he warned. Right. Thought drastic reforms could someday lead to global catastrophe. My father was laughed out of his graduation. Dude. You know what, though? Good on Jor-El for having the courage. Imagine, look, when I graduated, I went to like, I would say like a regular high school. It wasn't tiny. It wasn't like a small town, but it wasn't like huge city either, you know? But my school had like 2,000 to like 2,500 students at any given time. And I forget how big my graduation class was. Hundreds of kids. And we had speeches. There was like a valedictorian speech and all this stuff. And you know what? I could imagine, sorry, I can't imagine going up there and giving a speech of like your genuine, not just like your opinion and like how you feel, but like Jor-El like put work into it. Like he like researched this. So like imagine like you feel very strongly about something, but then you also follow that up with like real research, and you can like you have, you know, a document of all your stuff to back up your stats and facts to back up your opinions. And he goes up there in front of hundreds of people. Like I didn't give a speech at my graduation, but I saw people who did, and I could imagine. And how terrifying. And then for all of those people to laugh so much that it says he was laughed out of his graduation. Not just that they laughed at him and, oh, okay, whatever, it went over. It was a moment. That was like the whole thing for him. Out of his position in the league, out of his life as he knew it. But he was right. Oh, how good and how terrible. Because, like, fuck all those people, right? Because obviously they were wrong, and like that was really shitty of them to do to him and mean spirited. And then, like, so validating that he was right, but also like it's kind of like real life, you know, when you're right about something like global warming. If you're like right about that, and even when you finally prove it to people, it's like being right about something terrible doesn't feel good, you know. Man, these L's, they're just having a rough time of it. Oof. The mind's collapsing. Oh, jump to now. Earth. Brazil. Brazil. You want to see Bob's Burgers? It's just a brainworm, mindworm, whenever the guy says, Brazil, ponytail. Hoo ha, Brazil. Don't you think maybe God walks with us? Perhaps he does, my friend, but only because we are already dead. Sick line. Excuse me. Excuse me. Cap Liz, what up, Brian? One of the best ACBA artists to do it. Please go check out his stuff. If you like figure photography, his is among my favorites. Okay, so we're having an immediate parallel. So from the Krypton story where we had like the collapsing mine, Absolute Superman. Oh yeah, Brian. Sorry. Maybe I should do that every so often. Yeah, we're reading Absolute Superman right now. We're still on issue 1. I don't know too much about it. If you don't know anything about it, you're in the right spot. We're learning together. So Krypton years ago was a collapsing the mine shaft, and now we jump to current day Earth, and basically there's this mine, and there's a large deposit of asbestos, which is like I'm not exactly sure if it's a natural mineral or not. I mean, it seems like it is because it's in there, but it's this stuff that's really bad. Like in real life, they used it in construction for years until they found out that like the dust and particles from it, if you breathe it in, it kills you over time. And people, I think, have used it as poison before, like in the mail and stuff. I don't know, bad stuff. Bad. We don't. We use it limitedly now, like in a more controlled versions settings. But so basically, these humans are being forced to keep doing that, and we have our first look at the peacemakers. So it is looking like more of a unit instead of a singular type of guy. You got the hardcover? Yeah, Brian, you're gonna have to catch the rewind. I gave the full explanation, but basically the hardcover was the only thing we could find. I'm loving it though, especially the art right here. Actually, now that you said that, I wonder what does it look like without the slip on it. Oh, yo, okay. Thanks, Brian. Okay, so this is the back, Absolute Superman, right? But yo, look at that. Kind of almost makes you think of the Flash, obviously, with the yellow and red. That's cool. I don't, always do this. It's more like when I'm able to, but I've gone to cons where I've brought like my copies of a book like this. I'll probably, if I end up liking the story, I'll just keep this, forever. This is my copy. But I get them signed by the creator, and this is perfect. A nice, clean, blank black one. They could use like a silver Sharpie, or even like right here. I love doing that. A blizzard of carcinogens. Okay, yeah. So, carcinogen, to my understanding, means something that can cause cancer. So, asbestos can cause bad cancer. Cap lives. I really like the change of what the symbol means in this universe. Yeah, we were talking about that a second ago. The class system. I think, what did it say specifically? Let's see. Since I'm not too far from it. Class structure. Labor guild. The crest of the laborer was seen as a mark of shame, the sign of the poor and unskilled. People like my parents bore it with pride. We were the children of the sun, they said, those who made their way with their own two hands. We were the people of steel. I love that. I agree, Brian. I love that. So Lazarus Core is the one running this, like the peacemaker stuff and this like asbestos mine. Oh. Oh, this is cool. Sorry, me and the miners are surprised. So some of the miners decided to just go down there and like sacrifice themselves for their family to mine it. And when they get there, it's like imagine like if you were forced to go clean up a dump, right? But then you walk into the dump and everything's spotless. And there's just like a little note for you at the front, like, here you go. That's kind of what's going on here. Is like the whole mine has been mined, the ore that they're looking for has been refined, but none of the machines have been used, and all the asbestos we were just talking about is gone, like somehow. Brian says, I might have to catch up with this book. I read the first arc and I think half of the second one. Oh, perfect. We're going to be catching up on it together. So if you want to keep joining us, this is perfect. The Omega Men. Hmm. I wonder what the Omega Men are. The previous. I think we're getting our first glimpse at, well, actually, I don't. Oh, I don't even know if his name's Clark here, because like I don't know if the Kent's got him, so I'll just say Kal-El for now. But we're getting our first glimpse, just young guy, kind of in a hoodie, X-ray vision, immune to asbestos, obviously. Oh man, you could never win. So the miners are like making the most of this, and they're coming out with all this stuff and being like, "Hey, I don't know how this happened, but let's just count our blessings and get out of here." And the peacemakers are like, "That's weird. How did you mine that already? Blah blah blah." And now they're roughing them up. Like, explain. Can never just they're like those type of systems. They want suffering. It doesn't have. You don't have to suffer. Ugh. He looks badass though. I mean, like, how cool does the Peacemaker look here? Like, if you were cosplaying it too, or like had an army builder. That's just some dude. That's not like John Cena. Cap Lives says Rafa Sandoval's art is really good on this too. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting because like I think a lot now that I'm like reading it, um, a lot of like his interiors I like a lot better than some of his like pinup stuff or cover stuff. And I almost wonder if like somehow he did more of that energy on the covers, because the reason I'm bringing this up is like when I've been looking at the Absolute comics, you can tell that like for the regular covers, for the Batman ones, like the art on those is the same as the art on the interiors. So like you're getting what you see and it's good. And I mean that's true of this one too, because like this is what the art looks like, but it's like they kind of chose these like semi cinematic moments, and I feel like it's almost not enough of a draw, like, because you kind of, like I said earlier, you see this and you glance at it and you're like, yeah, Superman, I get it. And then I was saying like how you're rewarded if you take the time to look at all the details, but let's be honest, who does that? Not too many people. Sorry, I'm getting a little hot here. Let me turn this fan on. Sorry, Daisy. Um, so I feel like maybe I don't have the solution, but if they could, let me know if that fan's too loud, by the way. If they could, I don't know, just choose a different angle or something that looks more, like, let me see something. Maybe I've already seen an example. Okay, here's a great example. Like this shot of Jor-El right here, like trying to get out of the mine with all like I assume it's like radiation or gas or something, acid, and because it melts this guy over here. But this shot of him like coming through, like imagine if Superman here, same idea, but instead of him just kind of walking through the field, it's him like bursting through with like the field kind of at the bottom, and then his cape, spoiler, splashing around him, kind of like how this shot is. And I feel like it's a little more dynamic. Yeah, it's not cinematic, and I get that's what they're going for, right? Poster shot. But to me, I would like to see, like, that would have drawn me in. I'm here regardless. Okay, so what am I talking about? Nothing. I'm a crazy person. But, oh, very loud fan. Alright, no fan, no fan. Here, let's do... We're in the car right now. Let's lower the windows. Oh. Hey, Daisy. This is Daisy again. She is a Chihuahua Terrier. So to my knowledge, she's half Chihuahua, half Terrier. She's a sweet little girl. She's a, I guess you'd say a rescue. We met a nice girl who ended up homeless and basically wasn't able to take care of Daisy on her own anymore and asked us to adopt her from her. So long story long, we did, and we helped out Daisy's previous owner as much as we could. And then now Daisy is with us. So she's a good girl. Daisy, do you like Superman? Daisy says she's a Batman fan. Look at her ears. She's got the absolute Batman super long knife ears. Ka-ching! We're not reading Batman today, but when we read Absolute Batman, Daisy's got to be there so we can talk about this move. Because at one point his ears go like they like forward. If you know, you know. Excuse me, Daisy. Lenny's chilling in the back. Chilling in the back seat. Alright. Anyways, I think if they showed something that was like more one-to-one of the internal art, of the interior art, sorry, I would personally like those more. Capliv says Absolute Wonder Woman is similar to Absolute Batman with the covers. I love to hear that. The single issue I picked up of Wonder Woman yesterday, I think it's like 10 or 11, and it's mostly like blacked out with red designs, and then you see her like silhouetted with like red blood and like ready to fight. It looks awesome. Ooh, except this time I've left myself weak and sun-starved. Okay, so basically the miners, have their situation, and the peacemakers find Absolute Superman sleeping nearby still. And there's like a solar panel. So this is interesting. This is cool. So there's a solar panel, and see those red lines? It's drawing the energy into his body and recharging him that way. So that's cool. Seems like a modern take on how to absorb that. And then the peacemakers show up. They're gonna get him, and instantly something wakes him up, like an AI or something. I'm sure we'll know more. But check this out. Blows past them. Look at that. That dude's like, ah! And boom, takes out their tank. All in an instant. So the one dude, one of the few guys who's still here, contact, open fire. Yeah, right, buddy. That dude just blew through your whole crew and the tank in a second or less. Oh, Capliv says the Wonder Woman issue I was describing is issue 11. Nice. Oh, our first full reveal. What do we think? Drop a comment. What do we think of Absolute Superman, the full comic reveal, issue 1? I think it's kind of Man of Steel-ish to me, because no trunks, a lot of, detail line work on the, like, bodysuit, and then it's got those hip accentuations right here. I do kind of like what they're doing. Instead of, like, the red boots and trim and stuff, they have that energy kind of glowing on it. I like that. Hair's cool so far. Not too crazy. This I don't expect this for most people to be a compliment or nothing, but I do mean this positively. But I feel like this panel kind of reminds me of Greg Land, like his art a little bit. Just look at this shot of Superman right here. That looks like something Greg Land would steal. Ooh, listen to this. Like the other Lazarus Core forces we've encountered, their weapons and armor incorporate technology not native to this galaxy. Okay, so something or someone is funding this organization that's also alien. Will they live if I hit them? Yes, but I still advise against that. I know what you're gonna say, Soul, but we're not leaving him. Okay, so whatever this AI thing that he's talking to is named Soul. It's funny that he asked if they'll survive. So he doesn't want to kill them. But what if I like imagine hearing that? Like you're in your full suit, but you just seen this dude tear through all your stuff, and you're facing him down, and then he turns, and he's not even like focused on you. He's like, Soul. If I hit this guy right here, will it kill him in one blow? And like if I was that guy, I'd be like, what? What? Dude, I'm out. I'm out. Look at these. These are fools. Let me show you what fools look like in the absolute universe. Peacemakers that did not run as soon as they heard that shit and just got mollywopped. I could never. This never be me. I'd have been running out of there. Rounds ineffective. Adjusting ammunition. Printing maximum caliber. Oh, that's cool. So their guns are like have like 3D printing technology built in so they can like have adaptive rounds. Kal-El, this is a plan of combustion engine. Never seen. What a concept. Guns with like internal 3D printing rounds. I'm sure there's like a lot that can be done with that. Solar energy levels depleted. Okay, so he was already running low with the solar charger, and then everybody's showing up. Join the Omega Men. Interesting. Ooh, this is cool. I love this artwork. Like this page, like not even that there's like a standout thing like how I was showing with Jor-El, but just like everything on this. I love this page. Right here. Seeing his well right here it's coming out of the fire and taking fire. That's always a great shot. Like I love in the 90s animated series in the two-part opener where they show young Clark Kent like saving the family in the RV, and they come out of the fire and he's like not burnt. I don't know, like something about that is great. So seeing that here, love that of him like coming out. But then look at this, the cool like after images of his super speed. I assume that's what this is because it's kind of also could be like the AI thing here, but and then this, it not only has the cool like flash effect, but if you read this, it's the same word bubble. Like he's saying the same thing, but it's fading because the sound is traveling as he's going. So that's what I was saying about relativity kind of being funny, and how obviously in the comic book they get to play with that however they want. But that's a cool concept. Capliv says, oh, the Absolute Trinity books are sorta tying into the current DCKO event. Okay, cool. So, good to hear. So if you're like me and you're out of the loop and you're just jumping into Absolute Comics right now, Cap is saying that all of this is gonna lead us eventually into. Sorry, I'm at a park and they're cleaning out a porta potty. They're pumping it out. But all of this could lead us to the main DC, so even better. I love hearing that. Cap says it could be his cape. True. True. I wonder, like, especially this one, because you don't see his form, you just see the red. It could be like his cape, like trailing, and then right here, the after images could also maybe not be after images, but be like cape projection. Not sure on that one. Good point, though. Reaper drones. Oh, okay, so there's like drones shooting lightning or some sort of energy at him. Interesting. Like before, there's some kind of interference with the images. So technology, as they're trying to film him, he can't be like recorded traditionally. It's the suit. If you look closely, you can see it shifting, changing shape like living armor, protecting him. And sometimes I'd swear he's talking to it. Ooh. Okay, so Superman, to get out of the energy, has to use his heat vision. So we have super speed, super strength, sun powered, X ray vision, super hearing, and now we have heat vision. But Soul is saying that Superman can't control it yet. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool effect of him like not being able to control his powers. Kind of reminds me of the show Smallville. So he's like the energy's exploding out, excuse me, destroying the drones and the peacemakers, but not just the like heat and energy, but it's like flickering with his X-ray vision. And I wonder, probably not, but the skeptic in me, or pessimist, is wondering like because he can't control these flashes of energy, like did this guy just get dosed with radiation, like you know? Every dentist's worst nightmare. Like how they put that lead vest on you and run out of the room real quick for one picture. Imagine that. You're cooked. Literally. Okay, so he can't stop it, so he tells Soul to help him stop. Oh, I love this. I don't know, like, what all it means so far, but I love the color of like after the suit has like calmed him down. It's kind of like a fading orangish color all around. Looks really cool. Ugh, mark my words already, but whenever a toy company comes around to make me, like if McFarlane is still doing these and they make absolute figures, he's gonna milk this. You're gonna get an orange one, a yellow one, a gray one. Lazarus means peace. How's my driving? Hilarious. They wrote that on the. So Lazarus is still dropping in assets to try to contain Superman in this tank. How's my driving? Funny. Oh, got him. So Soul is begging Superman, like, dude, we gotta get out of here. And Superman's like, oh, I don't know. And when he's finally like, okay, let's get out of here. Too bad. Gotcha. Agent Lane. Lois Lane. I'm really surprised Todd hasn't done absolute figures. Yeah, same. I know it's all still new, but it's been out like a year because they all have past 12 issues. Batman got the annual. Oh, that's another thing. I would have gotten the Absolute Batman Annual 1 yesterday, but unfortunately, the shop was charging $30 instead of, I think retail's like $6 for it. But I was like, why $30? And he had like a whole shelf full. And he's like, well, that's what's going for on eBay, yada yada. So okay, business scalper, whatever. But I did not pay $30 for a single issue. I do have it digitally though, so when we do Batman, I do want to read that. But yeah, I'm sure Todd. Well, unless he loses the license, but all things considered, I'm sure Todd will get around to it because especially he's been doing like artist specific figures, like he did the what's the guy? Is his name Ed McGuinness? He does like the real chunky, clean work, like for Hulk and Superman and Batman. I think that's the guy, but he did like Ed McGuinness, Bizarro, and Batzarro specifically. Wonder Woman has an annual on the way too. Pretty excited. Ooh, sick. Do you know if the Wonder Woman annual is going to be like Batman, where it's like other like teams, or is it going to be like the main title team? I don't know. The first time I'm hearing about it. Okay, so Agent Lane, who works for Lazarus, oh no, just handcuffed herself to Superman. Again, love the like detail on his gloves, like or not even gloves, but like the suit, the glowing. Absolute Superman, Last Dust of Krypton, Part 1, Down in the Dirt. Special thanks to Rafael Albuquerque. Oh no. Look, our first teaser at Absolute Brainiac, I assume. It's just like half a page. The, this guy's monitoring Superman on the feeds, right? But look closely. He's got all these tiny things, and on one of them, in tiny little speech bubbles, it says, "Kill us, please kill us." Ah. Yo, and there's like splatter on the domes. What? Absolute Brainiac's gonna be crazy. But is he? Well, oh, I don't know. Cause I was gonna say, is he an alien or not? Because he's in the Nevada desert, but he's in a Lazarus R&D department, and we know that Lazarus uses technology from another galaxy. So Brainiac could still be Kryptonian, or if not, something else. Or he could be American. Ooh, interesting. Central Kansas. The Kent Farm, property of Lazarus Corps. What? So the Kent Farm's all abandoned and destroyed. Like I said earlier, I don't even know if his name is Clark because we don't know, or I don't know if he had anything to do with them in this universe yet. Cap says, I don't know who's working on it, the Wonder Woman annual. Kelly Thompson, the writer for the main book, said one is on the way. Oh, okay, cool. Oh no, the Kents. Ooh, back to Krypton. Look how cool Lara looks. Like, he makes her look so cool. Even though she's just wearing, like, frumpy, like, big ol' thick material working gear. Like, I don't know. She looks cool. And then right here, too. Let me read it, and then I'll show you this shot I want to talk about. So that green stuff from Jor-El that I was talking about that shot earlier was like radiation because she says he got radiation burns. Ooh, Jor-El's like in shock. But look at this. This the way he drew Jor-El right here, this is the most thing that looks like just regular Superman to me so far. I like that too because it's kind of like a subtle way to have like a visual reference to Superman, but still not be. Like that's cool that his that absolute Jor-El looks like Superman. Yeah, cool. Love the art here. Oh, how cool. Cal's right here. Dad, are you okay? Oh, Cal, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, my son. Look, it's little Kal-El, and I don't know if his name's Crypto, but his dog. Oh, guys, look at your part. Lenny. Lenny moved because the sun's in his seat. He's over on this side now. But Lenny, this crypto doesn't look like you. He looks more like a Labrador, like a white lab. Daisy, what do you think? Look at, it's a crypto. They don't care. They're just happy to be talking about the story. Laura the goat in this. Glad she gets some shine in this. Yeah, obviously she's like the smartest person so far. I love little Cal's outfit. Also, this would be cool like for a kid cosplay to like actually like look cool and still be a kid, you know? Like that's dope. Oh, we finished issue 1, guys. Absolute Superman number 2. Office number 1. All right. Here's the cover for issue 2. So this is already more in the direction of what I was saying. It's still a little, I don't know, just a little flat, maybe right here in this area. But this artwork is more to me indicative of what you see inside the comic instead of going for like that poster shot. So I like that. And then we get all the army builders versus our boy. But unless this is a new shot from issue 2, this might just be technically what we've already seen, where they have him surrounded right before Lois, right here. See this shot? This just that issue 2 cover could just be this from another angle, right before Lois gets him. All right, guys. Since I'm at an hour, I'm going to take a break for now. We finished issue 1, Absolute Superman, and starting issue 2. And for this, I do still have obviously the hardcover, but I did get the single issue. So later today, I'm gonna stream issue 2, and I'll be able to compare the hardcover version with the single version. And the reason they're different at all is just the quality of the print, but also the single versions have the ads, like not commercials, because it's printed, but like the advertisements for stuff. And sometimes in comic books, those could be really interesting because they end up being kind of like time capsules. Like when you look at old comic books, the single issues full of the ads, it's really cool to see like what year it was coming out and see like the pop culture at the time, because they'll often advertise video games, movies, food, but not like regular food, just like tie-in products to whatever the thing is at the time. So I'm excited because little spoiler on one of the Batman issues, the back cover of it, like for these, it's like all official all around, but on a lot of individual comics, the cover will be the art, but the back will be just an advertisement. And on one of the Batman issues, I turned it around and it was the ad, the poster for the new Superman movie with, oh no, what's his name? Corn Sweet. The 2025 Superman movie with Crypto. And I love that movie. And even though it had nothing to do with Batman, just seeing the poster on it just made me so happy. So I'm excited to see what other ads are in there, especially because I cut myself off from like advertisement stuff years ago, like on the computer and tablets and stuff. I have ad block on YouTube. I think now I have the thing where, like the official thing, but whatever it is, where you don't get ads on your YouTube videos. But I still like support the channels I support. I like their videos. I leave comments. I watch their content, and I watch it officially. So even though I'm not getting the ads, I think it still counts towards their time because I am on YouTube. Does that make sense? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But yeah. So seeing the ads is cool. And oh, sorry, I had lost my train of thought. That's right. Talking about the ads. And I don't have like cable or satellite TV at home. I just have internet, and I just watch, streaming services, YouTube, whatever. And I buy a lot of physical media still, so like DVDs, Blu-rays. I have a lot of those. So advertisements are interesting for me because I'm not always in the loop on that kind of stuff. So this is a fun way to do that. Not like, I'm not advocating for watching ads on TV or internet or whatever. Like, I even hate on DVDs. Like, you've bought the DVD. I've owned this DVD for 20 years, but I plug it in and it still plays the same advertisement. So I'm like, ugh. But for comic books, it's fun because if you want to just have the story and collect it and read it, that is available. But then for the single issues, like, you can't get rid of the ads, you know. But it's more, I don't know why, they're more fun. So, anyways, later today, we're going to be doing Absolute Superman issue 2. In the meantime, if you're watching this video, thank you for joining. If you're watching it after the stream, thank you for watching. And read Absolute Superman issue 1 and come back and let me know what you think. You know what I think about it so far because we talked about it this whole time. The dogs, Lenny and Daisy, they fell asleep. They like the sun and they like just hanging out. So, yeah, I will catch you guys in a little bit. Absolute Superman number 2 on the way. Let me know how you guys like it.